Okay.
We're going. I mean, second time's a charm.
Thanks, Amy.
You're welcome.
Hi, everyone.
Hi,
Welcome to On the Hunt.
I'm Amy.
I'm Whitney, and we're re-recording this.
If you recall from our last episode, it was storming a lot.
Yes, it was.
And I advised Whitney not to touch the buttons
She
because
did.
we were worried about the power going out, but she did not heed my advice.
I
In
did
fact, Chris encouraged her to touch the buttons, and she
And we're doing this again.
erased our whole recording. So we're going again. So this is the first time we've ever
Had to re-record
had to
one.
re-record and come in knowing each other's topics. But guess what? We'd already forgotten what we talked about last week. So this should be just
exactly
a pretty
right.
normal episode.
Yeah,
Like,
it really should. I really didn't even remember what my own topic was. I like how we keep looking at the
I know.
microphone instead of at each other's faces. We're so weird.
we are so dumb.
Okay. Any haunted housekeeping, Amy?
Let's see. I did listen back to episode 30.
I did.
I was just going to address the fact that I kept saying and now I'm just like said a really long
Hey, we have some weird
Listen,
ticks
we
while
do,
we do this.
and we were a little nervous. My
You
daughter
began doing your
yes.
newscaster voice.
My daughter listened and was like, Whitney sounds like Whitney, but you don't sound like you. And I'm like, well,
You
no.
totally do sound like you.
And I do, like I said, when I'm on here, I do really try to focus hard on enunciating because I will never forget when I first moved to Missouri. Some of my coworkers were like, "Oh, you must be from down south with that drawl," and I'm
And you're
like,
like,
"Oh
what?
God!"
I
So
live across the river.
Yeah, but I mean, I came from a really small farming
Yeah.
community, and people do kind of. It's just the hick in me, but I don't know. I guess when I'm on here, I try to be really self-conscious about that,
Yeah.
and so, you said this is what I sound like.
It
in
is
real
totally.
life, so
I mean, it's
I'm
what
going with
I
it.
think you sound like.
Okay, thank you. My daughter's just being a jerk.
Dang it, Keaton. We love you, but why?
Yeah.
I'm reading a really interesting book right now. It's called Whisper Down the Lane. And it takes place it's two sides. So one part of it takes place in the 80s during Satanic Panic. And then the other part's like now. Well, 2013, which is not now, but it still feels like now. But it's like about this little boy who kind of gets coerced into, trigger warning, into disclosing sexual abuse from his teacher that didn't actually happen and how it kind of like ruins the teacher's life. Well, I don't think it happened. I'm not done with the book yet. But then fast forward now in 2013, he's a teacher and some of those same things are starting to happen to him. But there's some horror thrown in there. It gets really gruesome and weird. But it's pretty good.
Okay.
So,
have to
little
check it
book
out.
rec there.
Yeah.
You reading anything?
Well, I am reading The Institute by Stephen King.
Really
enjoying it. It's
I
very
haven't read
good.
that yet. I need to add it to my list.
I've set a summer reading goal for myself, so I'm well on my way to, I think, accomplishing it. So I'm really
Nice.
proud of myself for
Yeah,
that.
girl.
No one cares. This is
No
not
one
what
cares.
they came here for. That is not
All
what
right.
this is about.
I don't have any.
Fun fact, though, we did have, yes, the tragedy of Whitney ruining our last episode.
Yes.
But then when we left here, people, it had rained like 80
Yes.
feet of rain. I'm not
Yeah,
even
we almost
joking.
died. Your beloved podcast
yes,
host almost
we
died.
almost died. And I know
Then we would come back on
we're-
this as ghosts.
I know sometimes we're a little dramatic and maybe even,
No,
you know,
I don't believe that.
what's the word I'm looking for? Exaggerate.
No, we don't.
But this is true. We were heading home and there was this truck sitting on the side of the road with its lights flashing and waving their arms at us. And we're like, oh my God, serial killer. Speed
Who's that
up.
freak? Right.
And
we drove by and they yelled at us.
Yeah.
And we're like, it's scary.
Yeah, go, hit the gas.
Yeah.
And we went straight into like water
Rushing water.
across the road. And so I'm screaming stop before we get to it. And Whitney like stops in the middle of it. And I'm like, no, don't stop in
But
the
I would like
water."
to say that of the two of us, I am the better driver. You know that's true.
Yeah. I've never disputed that. So moral of the story, turn around, don't drown.
Yeah, true.
Because we almost
Yeah, it was scary.
It was
bad.
really scary. Okay.
Anywho.
People are like, I'm not here for book recommendations or the weather report. Get to the good stuff.
Hey, we do read some cool, creepy books so that people
really
might be
do.
interested in. So there's that. We're also on Goodreads.
Am I? I don't even
I don't know. Oh, I am. Anyway. I'm like,
I mean, I have Goodreads.
We are one
Does that
person.
automatically mean I'm on it? I know nothing about it. I honestly just got on Goodreads so I can catalog the books I've read so I can
Are
donate
we friends
them.
on Goodread?
Yeah, you like all my stuff.
Oh, I'm so nice.
Remember, you were stalking everyone on Goodreads.
I
there
do that.
for a while.
I do that. I'm just like, way to go, you're reading. Good job.
Your literacy is just astounding.
Oh, Lord, help us. Okay. Anyway, let's get to it, shall we? Let's
shall.
do this. Let's do this. Amy, I'm going to do the case of Arne Johnson, in case you don't recall from last week. So if you've watched The Conjuring 3, if you know me and Amy, you know we're fans of The Conjuring universe.
And the Ring.
Except The Nun was a terrible movie.
It really was.
God,
Yeah.
it had so much potential, you know? Like, it was such a creepy setting. Fell flat.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. Picture it, Amy. 1981. Oh, God, my phone. Okay. The setting, Brookfield, Connecticut. Where were you in 1981?
Let's see. I would have been... Oh, you're making me math. 5.
5. Living your best life.
I was. Just reading all the time.
Yes. Pigtails for days. Okay. So on February 16th, 1981, the world's... I shouldn't say world. I don't know. The United States. I don't know that either. First ever recorded murder. Okay, hold on.
No.
I'm so dumb.
Okay,
already.
I was alive in 1981, and I can promise you there had been some homicides
murders prior to that.
In my tiny little town, there have been some
the first ever recorded murder in Brookfield, Connecticut's history took place. That was on the next line of my document. I'm so sorry.
And in her defense, her iPad died, so she's
reading it
this
on
off
my
of her phone.
on my Google Docs. So here we go. Okay. So on this day, Arne Cheyenne Johnson, 19, stabbed his landlord, Alan Bono, 40, to death with a 5-inch pocket knife, which again, we're like, 5 inches is not very
that's
big.
just like so many stabs. That's so little. It's just like little, you when you get, like orthopedic surgery.
What?
No,
I don't know what.
Wait,
what?
Or just no.
This is the worst thing that's ever happened to everyone listening to this.
Not orthopedic.
What are you
laparoscopic.
I was like, no, Amy, I have not yet had any. Have you had orthopedic surgery?
What would it even be?
I don't know.
Feet?
Your bones.
Oh, I tore my ACL once.
I know.
Anyways, I'm laparoscopic, and you have like those tiny little scars.
What is?
No?
Oh, and that's what.
Yeah, that's
I'm
what
with
the little stab wounds would look like.
And I'm also just a pocket knife. Is he like flicks it open and then just?
Well, you can't even flick a pocket. I can't even open a pocket knife.
Oh yeah, you have to
try
pull
to open
them
it,
really
get
hard.
That little notch and pull it. That was.
He's like, wait there.
Yes.
He's trying to open it.
And it's a Swiss Army knife, so he's like, nope, that's a wine bottle opener. Nope, that's a teaspoon measuring cup. Hang on, just stand there. I'm gonna kill you, but I gotta get to the
Teaspoon
blade.
measuring cup?
I don't know what's in a Swiss Army knife.
I mean, that would be helpful.
I mean, you might want some.
You're like, I need to put 1 teaspoon of sugar
cinnamon
in my tea.
Yeah, you don't know.
I don't. The Swiss, what a genius
They are
people
with their knives and their watches.
Oh my god, my hands were sweating so bad.
Oh, that's great. You're having to spoil your phone.
Electrocuted. And then I wrote in my notes, and can I just say that this part of the movie is so weird? Like, what's with the weird dancing and everything? It was weird. Like, for whatever reason, Arne, and I forget what his girlfriend's name, but we'll get there in a minute. Oh, Debbie. Arne and Debbie are just like, oh, dancing. It's just, and everyone's just like, it's just very strange.
And it was like the middle of the day.
It was the middle of the day. Who's doing that? But in this time, Alan's super drunk.
Yeah.
And just dancing, and it was weird. Can you fix my record player? The whole thing was weird.
And they were above a dog kennel, and the dogs just kept barking.
God, that dog kennel. Who could live there? It's like my worst nightmare.
My son worked at a dog kennel.
Did he?
One summer, yes. And I asked him how, it was like the summer he turned 16, so it was his first real job.
Terrible.
And I'm like, well, how do you like it? Isn't that fun being around all those puppies all the time stuff? He's like, it's just poop.
Just dog
all
poop.
day, every day.
And nothing
is
smells
nothing but
as
poop.
bad as dog poop. I mean, really.
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously that's really sad that Alan got stabbed with a 5-inch pocket knife, and that's horrible.
Yes.
But it's what happened before that caught everyone's attention. Dun, dun, dun. But not really, actually, because that was kind of the main thing. Anyway, let's move on.
We're going to open with a spoiler alert.
We are.
There you go.
So Arne was engaged to Debbie Glatzel. Debbie. What an 80s name.
It is.
You know? I know a couple Debbies now.
She probably goes by Deborah nowadays.
Yeah. She's like, I'm a professional. And she's old. Older.
It's just Deb.
She got no time for that.
Menthol Actually, did they like ban menthol cigarettes? I'm like, well,
really?
Shouldn't you just ban all cigarettes then?
Yeah, I'm like, if I'm going to smoke, menthols would be my jam.
Yeah.
More than just regular old smelly cigarettes.
Or those, I love when I
What
see
are
a
we talking
woman
about?
sitting in her car smoking like those long skinny cigar things.
Oh, the cigarello?
I don't know. Is that what they're
Cigarella.
called?
Is that right?
I don't know,
Oh,
but
God.
it's just really funny.
Oh,
Okay, sorry. Moving on.
hands are-
This is a mess. We're
It is.
idiots.
We're sorry already. We're just talking about cigarellos. People are like, shut up and tell the story.
And it keeps mosquitoes away.
Cigarellos?
No, that's citronella.
I thought you meant like cigar smoke.
Well, that might. I don't know.
Smoke me. Okay, anyway.
Oh, God.
No one's here for like our pest control tips.
Please don't give up on us. Please.
God. Okay, so Arne was engaged to Debbie Glatzel. This is 1980. So the Glatzels, including 11-year-old David, went to clean up a rental unit that they had just bought. There's some landlords. So they bought this rental unit and they're going to clean it up. While there, David's just kind of like cruising around the house, checking out the place, and he sees the spirit of an old grouchy man. I don't know how he knew he was grouchy.
It was just like shaking his cane at him.
Yes, again, this is the same joke I said the last time we recorded, but it's like, I just keep picturing one of those old Muppets, those crabby old Muppets. You know, it's one of those guys.
Or what's that? What's a comedian that has the puppets?
Jeff
Durham. Right?
Think so. Does he have a grouchy puppet?
Well, he's got that old man one.
Puppets
Walter or
are
something.
so creepy.
Yeah. So
Is he funny?
That's what this kid saw. He saw Walter.
Is that guy funny?
I mean, he was back in the day
Yeah.
because it was so original, but then America's Got Talent came along and then
Everyone has a freaking puppet. Oh, you got a puppet? Get off the stage.
Driftwood or whatever your name is.
Okay. So that old grouchy man, he pushed David, which is really rude. At first, everyone thinks that David's just making it up to get out of doing his chores, which, again, is very rude and ridiculous. I got pushed by a spirit. I don't want to fold my laundry. Why am I talking like this?
That's the only voice you've got, too,
Is
for
it?
everyone, whether it's a 10-year-old boy,
An old grouchy
95-year-old woman. I love it. It's
I don't know. And then I
love
did
it.
weird
love your
shoulder
voice.
things, which technically is your dance move.
Yeah, quit. Get in your own lane, Whitney.
Sorry, I'm just working my shoulders. Okay, then it gets worse, though. So David began waking up at night, crying hysterically, describing visions of a man with big black eyes, a thin face with animal features, which I don't even know what that means. Did he have whiskers like a cat?
He's just like licking his hands.
Ew! What does that mean? A thin face with animal features and jagged teeth, pointed ears, horns, and hooves. I wrote,
So it's all of the animals.
but I wrote
blended into
hoofs.
one.
Which is really embarrassing, and I don't know why I said that out loud. Yeah, basically that's the devil, yo.
Yeah.
You say hooves and horns, we're done. Okay. There's my Muppet joke. Moving on. So the ghost told David that if his family ever moved into the rental property, he would hurt them. So they moved in. Great. And then I also wrote, can people please start believing their children? I mean, I don't know how many times we read in these stories where people, the children are seeing things and the parents are like, whatever.
I would have listened to my
Yes,
kids if
you
they said
would've.
something like that.
Heck
I
yeah.
would've been like, okay. And why are they moving in anyways? They bought
It's
it
a
as
rental
rental
house.
property.
Do you understand how to manage your money?
Do you understand what a rental
Right.
property
Don't
is?
move
I
into.
don't think you
Maybe
do.
they weren't the landlords. Maybe they.
Oh, maybe they were the tenants.
Well, no, it does say went to clean up a rental unit that they had just bought. This is very confusing. The 80s. What a time.
It was Knight Rider.
Yeah, Kit. Yeah. What else?
I got nothing.
Whitney Houston. I just want to dance with somebody. Yeah. Can we really be sued for singing songs like that?
I don't know.
It's like I'm doing
not by Whitney Houston, but I don't know about some of the
Whitney,
others.
if you're here with us, knock twice. Okay, nothing happened. Wouldn't that be crazy?
No, I'd be like,
She just you just start waking up to someone shouting, "Crack is whack," and you're like, "What?" Whitney's here.
No, you wake up to, I hope I treat you kind, and you're like,
What song is that?
Dolly Parton's "I Will Always Love You,"
Oh.
covered by Whitney Houston in the movie The Bodyguard.
The Bodyguard. I don't remember that part of the song. I know. You look so sad and disappointed in me.
Well, it is. Well, that's the part Dolly speaks in her version.
I do love Dolly. God, I love
too.
Dolly. She's so amazing.
Okay.
Okay, moving on.
The people are not here.
The people
for this.
don't care about Dolly. So David,
If the people don't care about Dolly, I got a problem with the people right now.
you literally just gasped.
Dolly
is
Parton is a
American.
national treasure.
She is.
I have a
So
mini heart
is
attack
Nicolas Cage.
every time I see her face pop up on my news feed because I
you
think
think
something's
she's
happened to her.
Yes.
She put out that new Christmas movie on Netflix this year. It was magical. She played an angel and she
is
glowed
an
and
angel.
floated.
Her episode on Brene Brown's podcast.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So
great.
if you don't like Dolly, I don't need you.
This
Stop.
isn't for
Go
you.
away.
Go away.
That's
Amy
where I
says.
draw a line in this.
It is. Dolly is wonderful.
Okay.
So David kept seeing that ghost demon thing, who spoke Latin to him. Super chill.
Yeah.
Then they started seeing David acting weird, the family. Like he began to have seizures, weird injuries began to appear. He began growling and hissing, which just is so horrifying if you really stop and think about that.
I have a teenage daughter, so hissing isn't all that abnormal in my world.
Nope, not your daughter. David began talking about passages from the Bible and from John Milton's Paradise Lost, which again, WTF is that? I really don't know. I should have looked that up in this time between these. Anyway, at night he would just writhe on his bed, shouting obscenities and screaming like all night long. So needless to say, nobody's getting any sleep. He would pull at invisible hands that appeared to be choking him, flinching in pain from invisible knife wounds. It was just terrible. David would attack his mom. He kicked her, spit on her, squeezed her in the bust, which again, I don't understand. He attacked his grandma with a knife. It's like really jacked up at this house. But they didn't give up on David, which is a sign of a great family, because there would come a point where you're like,
David, you're on your own, bud.
David, we're
Here's
going to go
$20
now.
and a bus pass. Figure out your life.
So his family would just sleep all day because they couldn't sleep at night. So they're just like sleeping all day. I just wonder too what the sleeping situation looked like. Like, is David up in his room and everyone else is downstairs like, they're just like looking up the stairs. Is David coming?
Somebody has to take watch. They all take turns keeping watch.
Can you imagine though being that afraid of your kid? I mean, it would be
No.
because it's like it's your kid. You love them so much, but you're also scared of them.
That would be a really tough situation.
It really would.
Look at you all paranoid.
I know. I'm like, is it recording? It is. Thank God. Okay. So Judy, that's his mom. That is David's mom. She really struggling. I'm on the struggle bus. We are rolling off a cliff. So Judy and Lorraine, who I haven't even brought up yet, but Lorraine Warren, of course, is involved if you've seen the movie, said that there would be warning signs when the quote-unquote beast was about to take control of David. So he would lower his head to his chest and then slowly lift it up. Ugh.
Which is a great yoga move if you're having
It is.
neck
Just really
struggles,
work
just
on
saying.
your neck.
Yoga
Ow.
with Adrienne. I love her so much.
I just did that.
She always has me turn my neck and says, pretend someone's kissing your neck. I'm like, that's creepy, Adrienne. If I feel something kissing my neck when I'm turning like that, yeah. It's not even
my neck.
haunted yoga.
Haunted. It's as
Fun
That's
as
a
goat
thing.
yoga, probably.
That's what's something we should do. Okay, so he would do that, and then his features on his face would contort into a snarl. Nothing to be seen but the whites of his eyes. This was a thing last time where I really struggled with understanding what that meant. But the whites of his eyes. And then he would begin to laugh, a hideous laugh. Something like that, I imagine.
That was a brilliant reenactment.
Thank you. I would do the whites of the eyes thing, but
I'm really surprised like the Oxygen Channel hasn't reached out to you to be a reenactment actor.
It's really uncomfortable to do that. Okay. They claimed that a toy dinosaur would walk on its own. This just really goes off the rails here. That plates would levitate, rocking chairs were flown through the air, books mysteriously moved, a cake pan floated straight to the ceiling and left icing on the ceiling, which is a travesty.
Yes.
Because buttercream is never to be wasted.
No.
Debbie claimed to be clawed by a mysterious green hand that rose from the floor and attacked her at night. I mean, I'm laughing, but God, please don't let that happen to me. Can you imagine? And then you tell us.
It's like that hand back there.
I know, it's horrifying.
But how is it reaching her?
And then I
the
would come and be
floor?
like, Amy, I need to talk to you about what happened last night. This hideous green hand. Like what?
With like 6 foot long finger.
It just
think about where the
raises.
floor is.
Yes.
And it's just the hand.
Maybe her mattress
It
is on
didn't
the
say
floor.
an arm.
It doesn't say
a
an
hand.
arm.
It's like, it's just.
Surely it's attached to an arm, right? Oh, I don't know.
Wasn't
and then
that
it's
like
just
a
clawing at her?
a movie? Like back in the 1950s or something where it was just like a hand?
I mean, are you
Like
thinking of the Addams Family?
Oh, was there a hand on there?
Yeah. No, not
No,
cousin.
it was the hair.
What's it that
Oh,
thing?
the thing.
The thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
thing.
So
And
it
it's
was thing. Yes, that's what it was. I knew it was something from
It's really creepy,
the
too.
days of old.
I love the Addams Family.
Me too.
The one, though, with Angelica Houston.
As
Is there
Morticia.
another one?
That's the movie.
Is there a TV show?
Oh,
God.
God.
Was there a TV show?
Yes. The Addams Family and the Munsters. Those were TV
Okay, I know the
shows.
Munsters. I didn't know the Addams. Okay.
It was a show.
Again,
I'm so old.
the disappointment on Amy's face.
Although I think it was a show way before I was born. I just used to watch it like in
On your-
syndication on.
Yeah, I did
like,
watch
Nick
the
at Night or something.
Munsters as a kid. And Bewitched.
Oh yeah.
So they reached out to the Catholic Church to try to get an exorcism, but they were declined, which, really seems to be well, I wrote that, and I think we give a lot of crud sometimes to the Catholic Church, but in this case, they actually did, I think they did what was right. They asked that David's parents consent him, you know what I mean?
Gave their consent.
Thank you for a psychological test to be completed, but his family refused. Which, I mean, in their defense, they were like, look, he's been through enough. Green hands are popping out of the floor. Like, it's a bananas over here.
Yeah.
We don't want to put him through anything else.
And if he tells you what's been happening,
Yeah.
you're gonna not give him a very
Right. And what's the
like,
psychological
positive
test? Like,
evaluation.
what's that look
Yeah.
like? Because, all these things seem crazy and made up and ridiculous,
Like, what does this ink blot look like to you? the hand that comes out
Right,
of my
the
floor.
beast. It would be so interesting, though, to dive into what the Catholic Church knows about exorcisms for real. What they don't tell us, us specifically.
And they never will. You and I will never be privy to
We should,
any of that
infiltrate
information. Yes.
the Catholic Church. Hello, we'd like to become one of you. But it would be really interesting. They have exorcists. What does that look like? Do they have proof of these things?
Yeah, I don't know.
I
would think.
I would think so, too. Huh. Anyway.
Next stop, the Vatican.
Yeah. Hey, John Paul IV. I don't know. What's the Pope's?
I don't know.
I should know. My granny
The Pope.
literally watches him every single day. And she's like, the Pope was on. I'm like, okay. So the Catholic Church kind of let him down. Or, I mean, they also said no, basically, also. So anyway, I don't know where to place the blame. So David's family reached out to two of our favorite people in the whole wide world, Ed and Lorraine Warren, although I will say that I do prefer movie Ed and Lorraine to some degree over real life. They're just so great, Patrick and Vera.
And who knows? We never knew Ed and Lorraine
True,
at that age.
true,
So maybe, well, we
true.
never knew Ed. But
No.
we knew Lorraine from multiple
Yeah,
TV
Ed wasn't
shows,
on a
but-
lot of TV shows.
Well, I
yeah.
think he died before
Oh.
it became cool, too.
He was on this
Paranormal
one that
shows.
that's true. Yeah, that's very true.
cool. I just keep telling myself that all that stuff's cool.
Hey, it is. Like Ghost Hunters is coming back, although I feel like that
Oh!
Oh,
I just remembered.
what?
Time out. I brought you something.
Oh my
I
god.
need you to open on air.
Oh my god.
Don't read the card, though, because it's kind of mushy. You save that for later.
Oh,
I just want you to see
God.
the gift.
Stop it. Amy brought me a gift, you guys. What is this? But don't read the card. Okay.
No.
I'll read that later. Oh my
that's
god,
embarrassing.
what is this? It's a shirt, you guys. Us and our shirts were so funny. Oh my god. Amy got me a shirt. It literally says, Zach Baggins can lock me down. I love it. You know me so well.
I'm just so happy to be
This
back
sh-
doing this with you, so I want to say thank you.
It's hilarious. If you don't know our feelings about Zach Baggins, don't worry. Those episodes are coming soon.
Yeah, you will know.
Oh my god. Thank you, Amy.
You're welcome.
Oh my god. You're too,
You gotta love
you're too
Etsy.
sweet. You can find anything you want
You
on
really
Etsy.
can.
You really can. Oh my god, Zach Baggins.
Okay, sorry. We're back. Just you, I can't believe I forgot that I brought that. You just said something about ghost hunters, which is Zach Baggins is not affiliated with.
No. His documentary Demon World Demon House, which I do cover in one of our episodes, which will be out there soon, he's just ridiculous. Thank you. Oh my god.
You're welcome.
You're too sweet.
I try.
Okay, now we're just gonna hug. Okay, so I Googled when I was like doing all my research. I was Googling this story, obviously. And there is this video on YouTube that I have to post tomorrow when we post this picture, because it's just too much. So with Tony Spera, who again, I didn't look to see if that's their nephew, but I think it's their nephew and Lorraine's nephew. I think
It's someone.
it's someone in their life. So he is interviewing Ed and Lorraine about this case, about the Arne Johnson case. And so it's like super 90s. They're like sitting in this chair, and then right next to them is this painting of a woman, a red woman. She is naked. Maybe it's not a woman. This person has no hair, with a green cape, holding a giant sparkle. It's the weirdest thing. The whole time I'm watching it, I'm like, I don't know what you're saying, because I'm simply looking at this.
What is this artwork?
I'm looking at this artwork.
Did you
It's
create
confusing.
it, Tony?
It's
Did you
awkward.
buy this?
No one references it, so it's just there, and you're like, "Can we talk about that?" Like, what is this?
Even like 30 seconds. Just explain.
Yeah. Anywho, so the Warrens say that they saw David levitating, beaten by invisible hands, and that he could tell the future. So if you know anything about demonic possession, those are all classic signs. Ed claimed that 43 demonic spirits were attached to David, and Ed and Lorraine agreed that an exorcism needed to be done. And they pulled some strings somehow, I don't know what that entails, and found someone willing. So obviously a Catholic priest, I would imagine. So they did 3 exorcisms in total. Debbie, David's sister, was so scared and creeped out by it all that she asked Arne, her boyfriend or fiance at the time, to move in. Arne was instrumental during this whole time. Like, he was on board. He was really helpful to the family, genuinely caring about how David was and wanting him to be okay. So during David's last exorcism, Arne was taunting the demon. Like, don't do that.
No.
Please don't do that. They are like an ethereal being.
Yes.
They were never human. You can't even comprehend it. Just leave it alone. And Arne invited the demon to leave the boy and come inside him. And the demon's like, okay, let's go. Hey guys, let's go. 42 of you.
But think about that. What a terrible situation to be in.
Yes.
You see this helpless child who's utterly defenseless.
Felt like he had nothing else
and nothing else to do. So I don't even, like, normally I'd be like, well, you can't invite something in. That's so stupid. What is wrong with you? But
Right.
this was actually admirable.
I know.
You know,
well, and I think like if that were my kid or something, like I'd probably do this. Like, what are you gonna do? You're in a terrible situation.
But I mean, it's just his fiance's brother, so he's like, I'd be like,
he's just trying to impress Debbie.
He is. He's like, I know I didn't get you the ring you wanted, so how about I take on this demon entity from your brother? Is that good? Is that better than?
She's like, let's just go back to Zales. Jeez, Arne, calm down. So, as you can imagine, soon after this, Arne began having and experiencing the same symptoms that David had: growling, hissing, seeing this beast. And then having no memory at all of the whole thing. So he'd like almost go into a trance and hiss and growl, and then it would be over, and then he'd be like, what's wrong? Everyone's like, look scared. What's happening? And we're like,
why are you all covered in my spit? What's going on?
Dude, Arne, you were just hissing for like 45 minutes. So that was not the only time that Debbie noticed that Arne was acting strange. Altogether, she says that Arne had shown several signs of possession on several different occasions, and Debbie literally wouldn't talk about them all. She didn't like. So this article that I'm reading, that some of this information's from, was actually written just like between the murder and his trial. So it was written back in 1981. And Debbie wouldn't disclose a lot of those weird things that were happening because she wanted to save it for the trial. She wanted to actually, talk to the jury about it. But she would say that there was one time that Arne got up in the middle of the night, woke her up, stared at her, and said, "Go to bed." And Debbie says, I thought, oh no, not another one. He's doing it again. And at that point, Debbie reported that Arne got up, hit an old trunk. I forgot about this.
Oh, the days of the trunk.
I think... Can I just get a rolling suitcase?
Yeah, who invented the trunk? Wouldn't it have made more sense to invent the suitcase?
I mean...
can you imagine?
And you're hauling it onto a ship?
Yeah,
the
back
Titanic?
in the old days? Like, no.
Can you imagine?
No.
Oh my God.
I cannot.
2 people have to carry a trunk, right?
Yeah. And you probably, you just like live out of that? While
you live in it? You just live in the trunk.
Well, but take up your whole room. You're sleeping in it. You're suddenly a vampire. I don't know. Being on a ship just... God. When we were trying to come up with a girls' trip, my mom actually suggested going on a cruise. I'm like, you're my mother. I've been deathly afraid of water my entire life.
Do you even know me?
Why would you... And did you, like, when COVID first hit, all those people trapped on those cruise ships for... I don't even know what that must have been like. You know, at some point, the staff had to be like, no, you paid for a 10-day cruise. You want breakfast? Go make it yourself.
Yeah. Like, honestly.
We're done.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
And then what are people doing? They're just
aren't there like real cheesy like performers and stuff on cruise ships?
I
don't know. I don't remember. Always. They're like, we're not playing anymore. We're a Backstreet Boys cover band.
Wayne Newton's there still.
Yeah. It's just way.
I'm AJ McClean.
Clean? No.
His real name is McLean. Shoot, what's his name?
McLean. Not clean. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Clearly he wasn't the...
I started following the Backstreet Boys recently on Instagram. And like the Backstreet Boys and some of the Backstreet Boys and some of NSYNC are back sync. Or wait.
What?
In street. I don't know.
You don't know.
No,
this is all wrong.
This is a terrible joke. But it's like a few of them. Like Lance and Nick and AJ and one of the other ones that no one knows. And they perform together and it's kind of fun. Cool. Anyway.
I dragged my daughter to a New Kids on the Block concert a couple years ago.
Yes.
She was just like, why do they keep ripping their shirts off, Mom?
You're like, why not?
I'm like, I don't know, because all these women are screaming. I'm not into that guy. I'm really not into that. But I was just like, well, whatever. But they did. I'm just like.
Was it all like adult women there?
Mostly.
Yeah.
Keaton was. It was really cool, though.
I'm sure.
It was called the Mixtape Tour. So it was like New Kids on the Block and Salt and Pepper.
Oh, nice.
Debbie Gibson and Tiffany.
Debbie!
It was great.
Oh, that's fun.
We had a good time. Anyways, sorry.
I love
Moving
that.
on.
We
are
just went
so
off
all
topic to the Backstreet
It's because
Boys
we
and Debbie
began our night
Gibson.
way off topic.
We did.
And
We
it's
did.
just continuing.
We did. I don't know where I am, so give me a second to find. Okay. So there was also, so that whole trunk thing happened. He just woke up in the middle of the night, started punching a trunk a bunch and yelling about hell, which is just so random. You just wake up and your husband's doing that and you're like, I know, I hate that trunk too. Can we get like a Samsonite set? That's my suitcase joke. Okay. And there was also a time that Arne went with the Glatzel family, so Debbie's family, to church, and he just started yelling, "Son of a bee, I want to get out of here." Ah! And everyone's like, okay. So awkward.
We all feel that way, but no one's screaming.
Right,
at
no
Arne.
one's saying
Calm
it.
down.
Just shut up, Arne. And then there was a time when Debbie heard two voices coming out of Arnie's mouth at the same time. And that's the day he killed Alan Bono, which is like, oh. So 4 months before the murder, Lorraine called the police department there and said, "There's danger at the Glatzel farm." Was that in the movie, I asked? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Which, I mean, hello, really proves her mediumship, if you ask me.
It's very much like when Whoopi Goldberg said,
Yes.
"Molly, you in danger, girl."
What a movie. I need to watch that. It's
So
really
good.
been a minute.
Great
That
movie.
those scenes, though, with the demons is so... ugh.
Well, yeah, and it was the 90s.
I know.
So...
But, no, I mean, it's so creepy.
Oh.
And
I think
terrible,
it's
but also
cheesy.
creepy. But, like, who's that guy who plays the bad guy? What's his name? Oh, my God.
I don't know his name.
So, that whole... Oh, my phone locked. So, that whole boarding kennel nightmare in the movie was real. So, that was the thing.
Okay.
He actually lived there. I don't know why you'd want to live above a boarding
No,
kennel,
gross.
but they did. Literally my worst nightmare.
I guess
so,
if someone's boarding their animals there, though, somebody's got to be there around the clock.
that is true. But, like, how do boarding kennels do that now? Maybe they have
I'm
24
sure they
hour
probably
staff?
staff. You have to.
Weird.
I don't know. I never board my dog because
No.
she's so embarrassing. She's the reason we haven't taken a family vacation since we got her. God's honest truth.
Rowan, you're ruining our lives.
It's true because, like, my cat, I can just be like,
Yeah, put
hey,
the food out. She'll be fine.
so and so, neighbor, whatever, come, just, scoop his litter box, check his food bowl every once in a while.
You should
and he'll
just
be
kennel
fine.
Rowan. Rowan would be fine.
I'm not worried about her being fine. I'm worried about my humiliation when I have to go pick her up because she's so awful.
I'm not offering to take Rowan. I'm sorry.
I don't blame you.
Also, my husband would leave me. He's like, well, that's it.
Well, and pugs are the worst shedding dogs in the world, so there aren't enough dust busters in the world to keep Kyle happy.
Yeah, no, it would not. It would, and Kyle or Holden would literally have a stroke.
We
Poor
had to
kid.
buy furniture the same color as her fur. Just that's how bad
You're like,
it is.
here's my dog. Do you have
I
anything
did
about this?
I really did.
Well, that works. I mean, it's
Yeah, like give me
genius.
some swatches.
Let's put it up to Rowan.
Yeah.
Smart.
So the lady at Howard's Furniture was very helpful.
Nice.
Is that what it's called? Is that the place in
Bowling
Bowling
Green?
Green? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
So shout out.
Shout out Howard's in Bowling Green. They're listening, I know.
Of course.
Okay. So, Alan Bono, he was this Australian man who lived in Connecticut and worked and owned the boarding kennel where Debbie worked. Actually, I do believe his sister owned it, not him. So anyway, the day of the murder, Debbie went to work. She brought her two sisters, Wanda, who's 15, and Janice, who's 13, and her cousin Mary, who's 9. Which is really weird, and I don't know why she brought everybody, but okay, she did.
Like, who's in charge of the poop? And everyone yells, "Not it!"
Right, I know, and maybe it was
Worst part of the
summer, and all
job.
these people needed somewhere to go to. I don't know, but whatever.
well.
So according to a Washington Post article that I found, I didn't cite my sources, I realized. According to Wanda, the 15-year-old, they went to eat at the local bar, the Mug and Munch. Again, worst name for a bar
For
ever.
real.
Where Alan had some wine. And so did Arnie and Debbie, but not quite as much as Alan. He really was partying.
And I need to know if it was served in a mug.
It had to be.
Wine in a mug. Keep
At
it
the Mug and
classy.
Munch.
And what did you munch?
Right.
Crunch and munch? That's all. That's it. Every single entree on the menu
Is
is
munch,
based on crunch and munch.
has munch in the
Is that
title.
still a thing? Crunch and
Crunch and
Munch.
Munch?
That was delicious.
I think so.
That way better than not
Cracker
Apple
Jacks?
Yeah, I was going to say Apple Jacks, but that's not right.
Apple Jacks are
way
also
better than
delicious.
Cracker Jacks.
So they're like partying, having a great time. Then he's like, let's go back to the kennels. And then they go back to the kennels and they go upstairs to Alan's apartment and he turns on the TV super loud and he begins to punch his fist into his palm over and over because Alan obviously doesn't know how to dance. That's his version of dancing.
That's his move.
Punching.
Yeah, one move.
Oh my God.
Punch my fist.
A long time ago, Amy and I used to go to this bar all the time together and dance. And there was this older gentleman who, what was his dance move? He just like swirled all the time.
Yeah, we called him the spinner.
The spinner. Yeah, he just literally spun in circles for hours. How he didn't like fall down.
I don't know, because he was quite elderly. And he always
was.
wore one of those real like
Snazzy hats.
newsboy hats.
Yeah,
Isn't that
he
what
was
those are
something.
called?
Always had the ladies too.
Yeah,
Always.
and that woman with the real long hair that stood so close to the speakers.
Yes.
I don't know. How
not okay.
Did I have her
No.
eardrums
Oh,
blown
the
out?
Spinner. Rest in peace.
Yeah, because there's no way he's still here
totally
anymore.
dead. Okay, that's great. So he starts punching his fist into his palm over and over, which is actually really scary. And Debbie's like, let's get out of here. This is not normal. Alan's on one. So everyone except Alan, because he's still upstairs punching his fist, goes downstairs to leave. But as that was happening, kind of at the same time, Alan grabs Debbie, the 9-year-old, and just wouldn't let her go. So for whatever reason, if he's like, come on, guys, stay. Or maybe he was kind of being a jerk. I don't know.
Yeah.
Debbie goes over to Alan and she's like, yo, let her go. This is my sister or cousin. I don't recall now.
It's my family.
This is my family. Let go. And then Alan does let her go. And at this point, Arne was like already almost to the car. So he turns around real quick. He guess he can hear the commotion. He turns around and comes back up. And Debbie notices when he comes back in the room that just something's different with him. Something's off. And so Wanda says, I can't explain it. He just broke. He was like a stone. Nobody could budge him. So Wanda heard Arne growling like an animal. And then she says she saw something shiny flash through the air, which was the knife. And then it all stops. So then Alan falls to the ground on his face. And there was 4 or 5 stab wounds in Alan's body and one that extended from his stomach to the base of his heart, which again, you're like a 5-inch pocket knife. That's brutal and gruesome.
I don't even consider that a stab wound. That's more
like
of a incision.
jutting. It's horrifying.
Yeah.
It's really horrifying. So the day after the murder, Lorraine called the Brookfield Police Department to let them know that Arne Johnson had been possessed during the murder. So you know that phone call was interesting. The police are like,
But I hope she was also like, and remember when I called you before and told you something bad was going to go down?
You should listen.
Did nothing.
But you know, back in 1981, those cops are like, okay, bye. Because like, even now, honestly, now they'd be like, okay, that's great. So as you can imagine, this is the first case of someone using demonic possession as defense for murder. I wrote, is it the last? I don't know. I should have looked that up.
We have all the questions, none of the answers.
None of the answers. So on November 24th, 1981, Arne was convicted of first-degree manslaughter, and he served 5 years in prison before being released. He was a model prisoner, they said, and earned his high school diploma. So in 2007, well, hold on. So where is he now? Well, after he was released from prison early, he went on and married Debbie. So Debbie and Arne were together. I don't know what their status is now. And they have 2 kids together. So true love.
Yeah.
In 2007, David, so the little brother who was possessed, and Carl, who is another brother of Debbie and David's, sued the Warrens for continuing to profit from their story. So Carl claims that his brother David was mentally ill, not demonically possessed. He claims the Warrens told his parents that they could be millionaires if they invented the demon possession story. Well, like, did that happen? I don't think they're millionaires.
No.
It's ridiculous. But Arne and Debbie stay true that the Warrens' claims are correct and that David and Carl are just money hungry. And there's still like a lot of, like, they don't talk about it. And you'd think, like, if they wanted to just get rich off of it, then they'd be spilling that tea
they'd be
all
all
over
over the
town.
place. Yeah.
Well, listen to my story. But they're not, so.
No.
I believe
Although
them.
who profited off the movie, I wonder. I guess the franchise, the Conjuring franchise.
Yeah, it makes you
even.
wonder. But like, did Lorraine have anything to do with those movies when she was still alive? I wonder. Like, did she have to give her stamp of approval?
I don't remember. I feel like I read something somewhere about the first one when it came out, but I don't really remember.
They got her wardrobe right. It's on
spot
point.
on.
God, I love Vera Farmiga. What's her name?
Yes.
How do you say it?
Vera Farmiga.
She's
I don't know.
Beautiful.
Yes, she is
Fantastic. And
loved
Patrick
her
Wilson.
also in Bates Motel. She was so good.
Yes. And Patrick Wilson. Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Wasn't he also in
Insidious.
Yes, Insidious.
Yeah.
That movie's scary.
Those movies are frightening.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, there's
Okay.
that.
Well, here I go. Good job. Good
Thank
job.
you, Amy.
I remembered nothing. So it was just like, feels like the first time. All right. We got to stop. This is, we can't even sing. We can't carry a tune. Chris's ears bleed every time he has to edit our stuff because he's like, stop singing because he's a professional. We are amateurs.
He made our theme music.
He did.
Just like
and our
made
outro
it.
music.
Yeah. Just makes it.
Yeah.
What?
Real musician.
Musician.
Yeah. Okay. So my topic is... I forgot.
Wait, what is it?
I almost said the shadow people. That's not it. It's the Dark Watchers.
So creepy.
All right. So when I went into this, I was like, this sounds really cool. What little bit I could find on it was pretty neat, but there really wasn't. It was one of those topics, we come across them every once in a while that they really catch our interest, but then there's hardly nothing out there. So I was going to abandon it. But then I went to this website called Weird California and found the comments. They had a very similar story to All That's Interesting, which is where I got my details from, but they had a comment section.
Gotta love a
Like
comment section.
every website in the world, please open your comments
Yes.
up. That is where
gold
my
mine.
people live.
It's where our people live.
Or it just provides me with lots of entertainment.
Well, it's true. It gives a good...
Yeah. So I thought, what? I'll kind of tell everyone what the Dark Watchers are, but then I'm going to go to these people's firsthand accounts because they're amazing.
Yes.
So think Santa Lucia Mountains.
Don't know
California.
what that is. Got it. In-N-Out burger.
Yes. There are these shadowy figures that sometimes materialize on the afternoon horizon above them. And they are called the Dark Watchers.
Creepy.
I don't know who them is.
The mountains, I think.
Okay. Known to 18th century Spanish settlers as Los Vigilantes Oscuros, or the Dark Watchers. These featureless silhouettes appear like witches with brimmed hats and walking sticks in hand.
It's just that lady. Oh, God, what's her name? Tim Burton's wife. It's her.
Yes. Elena
Bonham
Carter.
Yeah, it's just her.
Yeah.
In Harry Potter, as that character.
Beatrix.
Yes. Oh,
Yes.
God. Yes.
What's her name? Yeah.
You all are shouting it.
Whatever. Where am I? Oh, yes. Brimmed hats and walking stick in hand. And it also says fashizzle manizzle all the time, which makes it way less scary.
What?
Right? And that was Snoop Dogg always says.
Oh. It is Snoop Dogg.
Yes. So tales across generations warn that approaching these specters could result in one's disappearance.
No, thank you.
So there are very widespread tales about these Dark Watchers, and people warn that if you do approach it, you will not live to tell about it. You will just be gone.
Bye.
Modern science, though, has suggested that the Dark Watchers might simply be the result of a hallucination. The phenomenon is no less mystifying or terrifying, though, because...
And we disagree.
So many people, it's science.
Except when it comes
to
COVID.
some stuff. Yeah. Then science, yay!
Yay, science! We believe in your view.
Yes. Tales of the Dark Watchers are often attached to the Chumash people of California, but apparently these indigenous Americans don't actually have anything quite like these specters in their folklore. So quit just assigning these.
Yes.
Like, no.
Those people are like, nope,
Yes.
not us.
Not us. According to, I keep saying and I said I was going to stop. Accounts of Spanish settlers, however, who recorded the massive beings in the 1700s, the creatures towered over mere mortals at 10 feet tall and appeared to be draped in cloaks and also donned the large, wide-brimmed hats atop their heads.
I mean, it's California. It's hot. They're just it's sun protection.
They're just getting prepared for, crap. What's
the festival?
Called? Yeah, what's it called?
Coachella. Oh,
they're going to Coachella.
Hey, that's what all the teens wear, those wide brimmed.
Yeah, my daughter asks every year, can we go to Coachella?
And
no,
like,
the answer's always going to be no.
No, and what are you talking about? What world do you live
outside, you have to have like a tent. There's no electricity.
There's MDMA everywhere.
Yeah, this is none of the stuff
I
you're
think
into. They probably have no gluten-free options for
no.
you.
Just, or only gluten-free options. And just all vegan foods. Plus okay drugs.
Well, no, I wouldn't do that. I would
Maybe there aren't drugs at Coachella. I'm making wide-sweeping generalizations. I've never been to Coachella.
No, nor
you
do
only
I
wear mesh tops.
Yeah,
crocheted mesh.
It's so strange. I don't get it.
We're too old for Coachella.
Yeah. And we're back. Folklore warns that while the Dark Watchers make it their mission to sternly observe those in the mountains below, it's wisest to turn away as those who dare approach these figures vanish into oblivion. Unfortunately, tales of the Dark Watchers are about as vague as the shapes themselves, but 20th century authors like John Steinbeck added their own mythos around the phenomenon. Steinbeck, what did Steinbeck write?
East of Eden.
Okay.
Grapes of Wrath.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay. So he grew up on stories of the Dark Watchers, and his own mother told him how she would bring food to the mountains as an offering to the creatures, only later to see flowers on their plates.
That's really
which is
weird.
Such a weird thank you. It's like, no, be like Santa Claus, take a bite and leave like something there.
And then you're just like, here's my.
And then some poet wrote some stuff about it, but I'm not going
we're not really into poetry.
And quote poetry. One theory is that the Dark Watchers are simply the result of pareidolia, which is a psychological phenomenon during which the human brain seeks out recognizable or familiar patterns and shapes in an otherwise alien or unclear
image. We've heard that.
Yeah, no, that's not what it is.
Yeah, no, it's not Jesus in the toast.
No, it's not. I don't really care for any of these explanations.
We don't care about your explanations because
they are creatures.
If you came here for facts, you're about to get them.
Yeah. So let's go to Weird California and let's listen to
that's only where I want to live.
To some people's firsthand accounts with Dark Watchers. So Dan, none of your business, Arizona. Just says NA, Arizona. Back when I was a teenager, I used to go hiking in the desert and a mountain range where I lived 7 miles outside of Blythe, California. One afternoon, I went deeper into the mountain range than I had ever hiked before.
Is this safe? I mean,
no,
okay,
never.
When I felt stay indoors,
I was being watched.
Ugh.
The hairs on my arms stood up. I quickly started looking around, fearing a mountain lion was nearby.
Yes.
When I looked up toward the top of the mountain and saw a small cave, like opening at the top of a sheer wall. There, looking out towards the valley, I could see a hooded human figure. Well, Dan, that's when you turn around and run.
Right.
I could not see its face since it looked like it was covered in a thin veil, but the hood and cloak looked tattered and ripped. The figure made no movements. I turned around and started to walk back the way I came and never went back to that area of the mountain range.
And I've been indoors ever since.
That area was not traveled. What? Oh,
Much?
That area was not traveled since there were no dirt roads or tracks. So who knows what was up there?
Then how'd you get there, Dan?
Dan.
Your story's falling apart, Dan.
All I know is it was not human, and I've never been back since. This was back in the mid-90s.
So we can imagine what you're wearing, Dan.
Yes.
Love it.
Very brightly colored.
Yes. Neon.
Wind pants.
Wind pants.
Oh, the old windsuit.
Skirt.
If only. Those are like making a comeback, by the way.
God.
The windbreakers.
We're
also the other day. I'm
no.
like, Keaton, this is retro. You order all this, like, air quotes, vintage stuff on Etsy all the time. It's like vintage early 2000s, by the way.
Oh my gosh, that's disturbing.
All right, so let's move on to Michael of Thousand Oaks,
Michael.
California.
Thousand Oaks.
I've camped a few times in the Santa Lucia Range near to Cone Peak, right near the coast, and the one.
We talked about
This messed me up last time too, the one.
Yeah, in California and maybe other places on the West Coast, they just say the and then the number of the highway.
Yes.
Like, we're about to travel home on the 40.
Yes.
We don't say that here.
No.
We say highways.
Yes.
Nina says freeways.
So they were camping on the coastal ridges there, overlooking the ocean, and definitely experienced some very strange energy. My first time up there were 3 of us, including myself. One person and myself both actually spotted one of the watchers up on a high ridge, partially obscured by low-flying clouds. Neither of us were familiar with them at this time and chalked it up to a tree. No, you don't both see this and then be like,
Must have been a tree. Wearing a hat.
Quit trying to fool yourselves. It's after your soul. When we slept that night, we felt
in the woods?
Yeah.
No.
We felt an indescribable discomfort. Well, yeah, because you're sleeping in the woods.
That's just
Those
a
are
stick
bug
in your
bites.
butt. Oh, that.
Yeah. And decided to keep driving north the next morning. Good call.
Are you alive still, Michael?
This person just said their name was someone.
Well, they're not wrong. You are someone.
I mean, and think about it. They get on the comment section to leave a comment.
Right.
You don't leave your own name, and your comment sounds a bit weird and unrealistic, but no one will never know. Okay.
Rude.
Why are you leaving a comment? That was
You're
so
a troll.
unhelpful.
You're a
Go
troll.
away.
You are a troll.
Anonymous of Stockton, California. Today, my boyfriend and I were driving from Arroyo Grande to Stockton. I know nothing about any of this.
Nope.
About an hour outside of AG. Okay. We saw a dark human figure in the hills. It was
You almost said heels.
I did too.
It was so
God,
cute.
my dogs are barking.
What?
I know you say when your feet hurt.
Oh, yeah. Do your feet hurt?
No, but you said heels. I almost said heels. So
I know, but it's just like heels, you know? That's how
yeah.
people around here say heels.
I'm going in the heels.
Then you said my dogs are barking.
I don't know.
So funny and cute.
It was several hundred yards away from the road and seemed to be trudging laboriously uphill in the 95
That's
degree
just
sun.
me trying to walk to get my
yes.
mail.
Have you ever tried to walk up a hill in 95 degree
Wearing
weather?
a cloak?
Listen, I walked around Tom Sawyer Days today, and it was like 82 degrees, and I was trudging laboriously.
And she wasn't wearing a cape with a veil.
Everyone was hot and hungry and crabby. So
And you can't get a drink with a veil.
No. Despite rubbernecking multiple times to try to get a better look, we could distinguish no identifying marks, no seams of clothing, no hint of shoes or anything, just solid black walking up a hill under the burning sun. There was a small station with a tank and a satellite on the opposite side of the road. I wonder if we didn't see some strange ritual. I don't know what that has to do with a tank and a satellite. Do you know what a ritual is?
Right.
Also,
A ritual about a
That's
tank and a... What kind of a tank? Like a gas tank? Like,
this is a tank.
are we
an
talking
army
an
tank?
army tank? Are we talking a tank full of propane? A tank
have no idea. It's a ritual
aquarium
of
tank?
the barbecue. I don't
It's just like an
understand.
aquarium tank.
Yeah, we don't know.
Okay,
Anonymous.
anonymous.
You gotta get some more deets. All right, Donnie with a Y. I don't know why I find that funny. Excuse me. I just do.
That was so
My allergies are killing
You have
me.
a cute sneeze.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
I'm happy to report I did not pee when that happened. So good deal.
We would love you anyways.
Thank you. All right, Donnie with a Y.
Again, I asked, how else do you think it should
He
be
asks,
spelled?
what is the D-U-N-N-I-E?
You're just assuming it's like Donnie Wahlberg.
Or any other Donnie I've never met a Donnie with a Y.
I don't know.
What's the difference between shadow people and a dark watcher?
We don't know. Great
we
question, Donnie with a Y.
I've never heard of a dark watcher, but I had an experience seeing a shadow person at my home in Texas. But the description of the dark watcher fits it much more. Brimmed hat, still, very still, just watching.
Ew. In your house?
Yeah, in Texas.
Ew. I feel like there's a Dark Watcher in that.
Well, wait a minute, Donnie. I said in here you're from San Marcos, California.
And your house in Texas. Does it
Which
say
is
his
it?
house in
Which
Texas?
is it, Donnie? Yeah.
Well, maybe he moved recently.
Yeah. Maybe he has.
He's a new Californian.
His vacation homes.
It's Donnie Wahlberg.
All right. Anonymous of Paso Robles. Sure I'm saying that wrong. Seen them multiple times in my lifetime, living right spot on in the area that they're from.
Okay.
They seem to have different clothing than described when I see them, but every time I don't feel alarmed at the sight.
Wow, shut up.
What an idiot. Those aren't Dark Watchers. Those are just your neighbors who change their clothes every day. Anonymous. All right. Anonymous of Ojai. Right? Okay. I was hiking up a remote trail up the 33 in Ojai. I was about an hour up the mountain. No people, no cars in sight as I was hiking. Oh, well, thank you. I didn't know what hiking was. Thank you, Anonymous of Ojai.
There are roads where you're hiking probably on your trail.
There might be a bike trail.
No cars inside on the bike
Did you
trail.
see where that girl was like trying to show her sign at the Tour de France and caused all those people to wreck their bikes?
No, show her sign.
She had like a big sign and she was trying to get it on TV.
Oh my
And
god.
she stepped in front of a
my
biker and then there's like 100 biker pileup. And last I heard she was like on the run.
Why is she in big trouble?
She's in big trouble, yes.
I mean, did she break a law?
Please tell me it wasn't a Free Britney sign. That would be so sad.
Oh no, it's not good for the cause. Free Britney.
Well, yeah, like some people ended up, they couldn't like finish the race because they got injured.
Well,
And it like messed up.
swerve.
Well, the Tour de France is like the Olympics of cycling. I think. I don't know.
Wow, I didn't
That's
know you're such a
dumb
fan.
habit, though. Habit, hobby.
I just have this
And
urge,
habit.
this compulsion to bike. I've never been a biker. You know?
I don't.
But there are a few people around where I live right now who have started biking and our roads are not conducive to biking at
gravel.
all.
Loose gravel at
Well,
that.
no, they're not biking on the gravel. They're biking on the blacktop.
Like, they must have some really big tires.
It's like a car tire, but a
Yes.
bike. Maybe we should take it up.
Biking is one of those things that, like, in theory, sounds fun.
And then you start
And then
doing
you start
it.
doing it, and you're like, this is the worst idea
Yeah.
I've ever had.
I'd have to only bike on flat surfaces.
So, anywho, Anonymous,
Anywho about
who thinks
biking.
we don't know
Hiking.
what hiking is.
Yeah, we hiked once.
I had this eerie feeling I was being watched. I looked up at the top of the mountain. I saw a black figure. I waved jokingly, not really thinking
They're
the
my
object
kind
was
of
a
people.
person.
I love them. Then what were you waving at? You
Yeah.
didn't think it was a
He's like,
person?
"Oh,
Hey, mountain lion.
It waved back.
Nope, that's when I would poop my pants
Yes.
and then run away.
Thinking I was maybe tripping or
Because I had
that-
just done some shrooms,
yeah,
obviously.
or that it was a tree waving in the wind. I took a puff of my cigarette.
I just love that this...
Who hikes and whilst you're hiking right for your health, I'm assuming, and you're puffing on a cigarette.
Or you're hiking to your meth lab. I mean, maybe that's...
up on the heels.
Maybe that's what they're doing.
Only to see the figure blow out a plume of smoke as well.
It was like literally mimicking
yes.
him. Is it his shadow?
Listen, Anonymous.
That's yourself. That's you, yo.
Or there's a mirror right there.
There's just a weird mirror.
You're not even hiking.
You're in your room.
You're in your room. It's a full-length mirror, you moron. I started seeing it flowing, and I say flowing, almost floating vertically, misspelled vertically. I ran like hell back to my car, spraining my knee in the process.
That's literally me.
Yeah, that would be my experience.
I would trip and fall.
Yes.
Tumble
I don't
down.
even need to see a shadowy black figure.
No.
I just need to be hiking on that remote trail.
Yes, puffing a cigarette,
Up the
and you
30
trip and
yes.
fall. God, I mean, it's so
Serious
bad.
unfortunate events. All right, now we have Sally. I live in the country of Canada. Again, we know that it's... Why are people...
Because they know Americans are reading this, okay?
Okay, fair enough. It is here in California.
Yesterday, I'm about to say something really embarrassing. Yesterday, I asked a coworker who's Canadian if Canadians' Thanksgiving is on a different day. It is. It is, everyone. I think it's like the second Tuesday in October. You're welcome.
So
it's for us.
So yeah, she saw a 7-foot man, which isn't that tall. I mean, that's tall, but
Not
could have been an NBA player.
Yeah, it wouldn't be like
Yeah, I saw
Dwayne Wade out
Yes. I don't know.
Where's Gabrielle Union? I only know them because he's married
Lamar
to...
Odom.
We only know the ones related
know.
to celebrities. We're embarrassed. Michael Jordan? Scottie Pippen?
Very slowly walking along the fence line.
It's just...
He seemed
Dennis
to be...
Rodman. That's all I have. I'll
Oh
stop.
God, Dennis Rodman. Just...
What a guy.
Ugh. He seemed to be all a solid shadow. But because he appeared to be behind the 6-foot fence, I didn't get a good look at him. Every time it's twilight, I look out at all the fences to see him again and see what I saw, but I haven't seen him since. Could you help me find out what he was?
So many fences.
No one's coming here for advice, Sally. This is just the comment section. This is
You're on the wrong
Reddit.
forum. You're on the
Reddit.
wrong forum. Why are there so many fences?
I don't understand.
Is it like...
Do you live in a pasture?
Maybe it's... Well, don't they have... Okay, I'm about to say all the stupid things.
We know nothing about Canada.
Oh, this is Canada. Okay, I was thinking it was California again because I think they have like rattlesnake fences there
I don't
to keep rattlesnakes out.
Maybe they have snow fences in Canada.
Oh, maybe.
We don't know. We don't know.
To like stop an avalanche?
Yeah. Like they put snow fences up sometimes
That
by our
wouldn't-
fields so that the snow can't drift.
Yeah,
really
that
high.
wouldn't stop an avalanche.
No, that wouldn't stop
I'm
an
going to go ahead
avalanche,
and
but it
take
helps
that
with the
back.
drifts.
I take back that dumb comment. Thank you very much. Okay.
So Evangeline.
What a name.
Oceana,
What a
California. I saw a dark watcher just about dusk in June of 2016.
Oceano.
What did I say?
Oceana.
Oh, I like mine better.
I do too, because I was like, Oceano. Weird.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go on.
In June of 2016.
Can you start at the beginning? I missed that. I'm so sorry.
I saw
I'm
a
so
dark
sorry.
watcher just about dusk in June of 2016. He was standing near the ocean cliffs just outside of Hearst Castle. Don't know what that is.
But I want to go.
Yeah, there's a castle? Was it a sand castle or a castle castle?
Hearst of the publishing fame?
Yeah. Are there castles in California?
I mean,
Other than like
just
at
mansion.
Disney?
or Kim Kardashian's home.
Yeah. No one could see him in our party except me. As
That's-
I walked toward
wow.
it, it vanished, and I also had a sense of foreboding, eerie, scary feeling. Okay, whatever.
And then what,
Yeah.
Evangeline?
Yeah. So
And then...
how many other people were at this party? Like who didn't see it? I love how both our noses are just running uncontrollably. So Joey
I didn't even notice.
is a long distance runner. Ew. Worst hobby
I know.
ever.
I want
Again,
to, but you know what? I say that out of complete jealousy because I
Yeah.
would love to be
If
that.
I run for more than 15 seconds, my side hurts so badly, I think I'm dying.
Well, I actually began trying to run during COVID and injured my knees, just my fat butt, just like makes my knees hurt so bad where like I couldn't even walk.
That's
Sad. Hey, my child
Sorry.
told me and Amy both we had giant butts. So
yeah, it was great.
that's rude, actually. Holden,
No, it was
we
cute.
love you.
Okay, so he's a long distance runner, and he was training. Wait, most of my training is up in the good old Californian mountains.
Wow.
Okay, these aren't my words. These are just my story.
Yep.
I had a long run scheduled, so I headed out. I headed to Veterans Park here in the San Fernando Valley. Time of day was 2 p.m. So many details.
He really does. He really took notes.
He was jotting all of this down in his little the FBI notebook. I was running and up in an area where no human could climb without gear. I saw a black figure in plain daylight. I never seen anything like that up in the mountains.
No other humans.
Was darker than dark. Could not explain it. A year passed, and today, again, January 24th, I saw it again, and in the same spot.
So he came right home to this website.
Yeah, but
Weird
he didn't
California.
give us any details
No.
about the time
Nope.
or anything.
Or what? Yeah.
And then this was my favorite one.
I can't wait.
I put a star next to it. This was from Anonymous of Northern California, California. That's what it says. I'm just reading what it says.
California.
Anonymous says, these are Masonic rituals. End of discussion. Mind your own business, people, for your own safety. Anonymous means business, and Anonymous is like got something really against
The
Freemasons.
Masons.
I don't know.
Yikes.
All right, so
What happened to you?
let's go to Jason of Texas. Just of Texas. No, Jason of Rosenberg, Texas.
No.
It's really hard reading with just this little candle.
Can I do anything to help you?
No.
Okay.
Nothing that won't leave scars on my body.
Should I drip this wax
No,
on
please
you?
don't.
Okay.
All right, so Jason says, I seen a dark figure about 7 feet tall in one of the mountains by Vernal, Utah.
It's a terrible name. It really is.
It was a late winter, lots of snow.
There's no periods in this.
No, there
Jeez.
aren't. The moon was so full, the light reflected off the snow, so I had no problem seeing. I worked nights for a seismic company. As
Again,
a
what
troubleshooter.
is that? Earthquake?
Earthquakes. I mean, how many earthquakes are happening in Utah?
I mean, you got me.
Well, this says seismic company, but I'm assuming it should be seismic.
He can't even
because
spell his own, like, field of work. I mean, they just, like, measure seismic
it's just a bunch
activity.
of people named Simon. we just monitor
But I'm the
them.
only Jason.
Yeah, we just troubleshoot them. I heard a crew member say on the radio that he's seen Jeepa Creepa.
I forgot about that. But this does sound like that.
Yeah, it does sound like
Makes you
Jeepers
wonder
Creeper.
if they, like, based that movie off of these sightings.
For real.
Jeepa Creepa.
Can you imagine being at work and that comes across the radio? I just saw Jeepa Creepa.
Again. Oh my God.
He said, I saw the Jeeper Creeper drop everything he had, and he ran back to his truck. Like, I
what?
guess he's saying
To
this on
go?
the radio? I don't know.
To, like, go see?
We thought he had just been up too long and without sleep. So they sent me to his location to finish what he had to do while walking on top of the mountain to fix the problem. I seen it 20 feet in front of me. My heart started beating fast. I tried to run, but it was hard because of the snow, which is so awful.
And so true.
Running in the snow?
It's nearly impossible.
It really is. And I was running. It seemed to float on the snow. It moved really fast and started to circle me, then stop. All I had on me was a pocket knife.
Well, Arne did it with a pocket knife.
I pulled it out and started to pray for God to help me fight. As I started to run towards it, I got about 10 feet.
This guy is so brave, though.
He is. Maybe lying.
Oh, okay.
And it started to move back fast. I lost sight of it in the dark. It never seen its face. Well, I hope it never seen its own face. That would be really weird. I'm assuming
How do you know that, Jason? It never seen its own face because it's what?
Unless it had a mirror.
This guy just cannot write.
Because it had a robe like the Reaper. Don't know what it was.
Don't know what it was.
What it was. These are
Okay,
fantastic.
Jason.
Guys, if you're going to take the time to leave a comment.
There's no period in that
No.
whole thing.
No.
Oh,
You
wow.
can't tell me this whole thing wasn't underlined with like spell check. Come on. All right, now we're at Cindy, Cyndi. Love it. Of Florence, Alabama. Mm-hmm. I first seen this shadow figure. I thought it was a person. It was standing over my friend while he was asleep. When it seen that I could see it, it ran down the hall of the house.
I don't like him
Gross,
inside.
no.
I don't like him inside.
I ran after it.
No!
Cindy! What are you
Cindy!
thinking? But found nothing. Then after that, my friend killed himself. And I woke to the same being at the end of my bed. I was worried about my baby, so I asked, where's my son? What? No, don't ask where your son is, Cindy. It told me he was watching TV.
Now, like, I want to know more. What did its voice sound like,
Yeah.
you know?
It's watching TV, Cindy.
Ugh.
But my son was about 3 months old, so I thought that was
Weird.
that it was lying to me.
God.
Well, then you asked, Cindy. If you can't accept the answers, take them. So I jumped up
What would you
then,
say
like,
a
where's my
3-month-old's
baby?
doing?
Yeah.
He's staring into space at nothing.
He's pooping his pants.
Drooling.
So I jumped up to find my son with his father watching TV. I really have the feeling it was not evil. I just think it was being so weird, and that's what scared me. No, it's a dark figure standing at the end of your bed
And
staring
knows what
at
your
you.
kid's
and knows what
doing.
your kid's doing who isn't in sight. So,
It's weird and evil. How about that?
yeah. So Elizabeth of Benitos of San Mateo, California. No, that's her full name. Is Elizabeth Benitos. Well, nobody else has given their last names. I can't help it. Sorry, Elizabeth
but you
Benitez. Listen,
Elizabeth of Benitos
if nothing, I'm consistent with my inability to read.
Elizabeth of Benitos.
I'm like
Royalty.
exactly.
She's royalty. Elizabeth of Benitez of San Mateo, California. Please come forward.
From the House of Windsor. Oh, gosh. Anyways. Elizabeth, not of the House of Windsor, said...
Elizabeth, who wants to put her full name on this. Oh, God, I'm going to light my hair on fire.
For future reference, Elizabeth, don't leave your whole name on the comment section. Or even leave your real name.
No.
No one here has a handle.
What would yours be?
The same thing I
Amy of Windsor.
AJ0930. That's what I use for everything.
We should say that.
I'm so traceable now. I remember one day my friend and I were coming back from Los Angeles. We passed the San Luis Obispo
Yeah, that's a
Reservoir.
thing. I've heard that.
And we drove on the road. As we did. Obviously.
Elizabeth's so good at
I can't see this.
Elizabeth is so
I'm
good.
reading my one flickering candle. Cut me some slack.
It's just funny because she drove by the road or on the road. And it's the way you said it too. You're like, and we drove on the road. So serious. Do you want me to turn my phone light? No, this is too good. I don't want more light. Do you need your glasses though?
Oh, that might help. I have them sitting right
I know.
My eyes are so watery now. I can't. Oh, that helps a lot. That would have been great at the beginning of my story.
Why is it so blurry?
And as we drove on the road, I saw something at a distance down at the end of the mountain. It was a really big human figure, but it wasn't. I don't.
But it wasn't what?
Human, I guess.
Again, there's no period. No, there is a period. Okay.
And a comma. So I should have understood that. It had a black cape, kind of like the Grim Reaper. And it was leaning over, holding on to a staff at a puddle of water. Or so it seemed.
Why is it in
at a distance.
quotations?
It's so thirsty.
But why is she
Puddle of
putting
water.
puddle of water in quotes?
What do you think
Was it or
is?
wasn't it? Well, it can't be like a puddle of water.
It was
Elizabeth of
Yeah.
Windsor. We have many problems with this.
It was in the daytime too, so I could identify it wasn't a person. Even in midlight, he was very black and reminded me of a raven.
I mean, that's confusing.
I can't read. I told my friend that was driving to look over at the mountains, and surprisingly, she was able to see a glimpse of it. I asked her what she saw without giving her my details. Okay.
She's a murderino.
You're not going to persuade her. Give me a break. And she said exactly what I saw. She only looked at it for about 5 seconds, but she was able to see it. She almost lost control of the car too when she looked away at it because she took her eyes off the road.
And she probably turned the direction.
Yes. And I begged her to go back to see it, but she was very tired of driving already.
I don't care how tired of driving you are. If you see a human raven in the woods or the mountains, wherever they are, you gotta turn around.
Yeah. And Elizabeth, did you offer to take a leg of the journey behind the wheel for her?
You're so selfish.
Yeah. So she ends with, "These dark watchers are real!" Exclamation point. Okay, thanks, Elizabeth. Then we have Brian of Hollister, California. One early morning when my car was in the shop and my sister was taking me to and from work in Salinas.
Oh, you're that guy, Brian.
Yeah. Get an Uber. Over San Juan Grade Road. Again,
What does that mean?
who cares? We were coming home to the San Juan Bautista Hollister side. So
What do these things mean?
When we saw a very large dark figure standing at the edge of the mountains, which is extremely weird since I've never seen anyone cross over the barbed wire fence.
Well, no. That's the purpose. Literally the purpose.
And I travel that road daily and at all hours. We drove by it slowly because the figure, noticing it, staring off. I need to correct people's stuff before I do this.
No, it
was staring off into the distant valleys and mountains. It appeared to have a large cape with straight shoulders that were very broad.
Whoa,
you've been
you work
working out?
I work out.
It seemed to have a hunch on its back.
Oh,
It's like, it's so hot.
I'm
so
tired.
Walking in these mountains. Where's my
it's hard being a human raven.
my walking stick? At first, from a distance, I thought it was a condor. But okay, I don't know anything about a condor, but
I feel like it's like a giant buzzard.
condors, but they're not wearing a cape.
No, and they're not a human. Why are
No.
people thinking this thing looks like a bird?
But when I got closer, it stood almost over 10 feet tall. It did not notice us driving behind it because it doesn't care. It's got a hump
And
back
you're
and a top.
behind it.
Yeah.
He can't see you.
But when we found a spot on the cliffy road to turn around and get a better look, it was gone. Okay, whatever. All right, Kick Boy Face of Moreno Valley.
What does that even mean?
He says, interesting stuff. Okay.
Period. Wow.
Period. Yeah. Well, we'll be the judge of that Kick Boy Face.
Yeah, shut it.
Many, many years ago, I was with a friend driving through a dirt field here. So, see, not everybody drives on the road, so...
What?
What's a dirt field? Like, just dirt. Just dirt.
Why aren't there crops or grass or
Do you know what a
animals?
field is? Or is it a ball field?
Or is it a
doing
a desert? Would that be sand? I'm
I don't
confused.
understand.
Dirt
I know
field.
nothing about California either, though. So, they were in the Moreno Valley near Alessandro, the old east part.
Okay.
It means nothing.
No.
Near what I believe were old abandoned barns. Okay.
What is happening?
Where are you? So you were in an actual field. You're tearing up someone's crops.
Yeah, rude.
Kick Boy Face.
And it's dirt. It looks like dirt because they just planted.
Yes. Get out of the
Nothing is
crops.
growing yet.
I always had heard were haunted when my friend's car broke down. Could have been a coincidence. It was a beat-up Volkswagen Bug. So it was dusk at the best, and there was no way we were going to make it out of the field before it was pitch black.
Are they driving the Volkswagen in the field?
They can't be. They're just like, we can't see from the cloud of dust.
And I mean, it just
And the
doesn't-
Volkswagen, he was even like, this is stupid. I'm just going to stop working.
I'm done.
So instead of chancing getting lost and or hurt in the dark, they decided to sleep in the car
I mean,
and set
this
out in
is
the morning
confusing.
to go get help. So it was way before the days of everyone having cell phones and quick help. As we were killing time in the pitch black now, we were hanging out inside and outside the car, killing time, sharing smokes, and we started to distinctly see what looked like black shadows, evenly distributed, completely encircling us. They did not move. They stayed motionless, but were of significant size. And based on the distance, I would say at least the size of a small car, like the Bug we ourselves were in.
Wait, so each of them is the size of a small car?
A Volkswagen Bug's not that big. Is
Yeah,
he
and-
talking like
And height, because they're tiny.
Yeah.
And they're each about 4 feet tall.
Yes. Oh, Okay, this kick boy face. This
Or
is
wide.
getting less
Are they as
scary.
wide
Yeah.
as the bug? It's confusing.
It really
They're
is.
just a square
Or you have
person.
to stand the bug up, which is still probably only 4 feet tall. Okay. Well, anyhow,
They're high.
Yes, whatever these things were hunched over, perhaps kneeling. Okay, so maybe that's why they
Now
were
we're
as tall as they
following.
are. Time passed, and they never
Yes,
moved.
it does.
It did not stand still. They never moved, and though we walked around the car and got in and out of the car
No!
to see if what we were seeing was some sort of an optical
Did they
illusion.
walk up to him?
I guess not. I mean, I wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't
Says,
get out of that car.
We couldn't explain or discredit what we were seeing. To this day, it racks my brain.
No way would I get out
All
of the
right,
car.
last one. Sea Godna of June
What?
Lake. Sea Godna. Up here in the eastern Sierras, we see the Dark Watchers all the time.
Oh, not even a
They're
big deal.
always out at dusk and dawn. All you see is just a tall, dark silhouette. Okay,
That's
what?
all?
Yeah.
We're not scared?
They almost look like horses
What?
standing on their hind legs with the assistance of walking sticks.
What? Again, with a hoof.
Yeah,
How do you hold a walking stick?
you don't.
Between your two little hoof fingers. You know what I mean by hoof fingers, right?
Yeah, and even with the assistance of a walking stick, a horse can't continue to be just walking on 2 legs. They can rear up, and then they got to go back down.
Says who, Amy?
Listen,
Don't you put restrictions on horses? Just
I know a
imagine-
lot about horses because my neighbors let theirs wander freely, and they poop all over my yard. It's so
Oh
annoying.
God! Can you just imagine for a moment, everyone,
But
a horse
anyways.
walking on its hind legs?
Yeah.
How would you not laugh?
So, Sea Gardner says it's pretty creepy, and nobody has ever seen them up close, and they disappear the moment you try to get closer. Well,
It's
then
weird.
they are horses. You're scared. They're wild Mustangs.
Well, and that makes me think though that it's not just an optical illusion. Well, I mean, I guess optical illusions could change with the closer you get, maybe, but why would they just disappear when you walk close?
Yeah, I don't know.
If you're new to the podcast, we will always side on the side of
Paranormal.
supernatural.
Yes, 100%.
Always. We did it, Amy.
Okay, we did. We
did it
We
again.
re-recorded.
Sorry if that wasn't our best. We really tried. Like us on all the socials. Instagram and Facebook are what we're on. We're at On The Haunt. Email us. We want to hear your stories. onthehaunt@gmail.com. Send us any of your paranormal stories or a creepy place you've been. We want to hear it all.
Yes, please do. And if you happen to listen to us on Apple, I did notice when we took our little hiatus and came
Yep.
back, Apple took away all of our rates and reviews.
It's rude, Apple.
So even if you've already left us a review in the past, if you wouldn't mind hopping on there and leaving us a, we love reading them.
Oh my
it
gosh.
makes our lives.
Yeah, it really
we
does.
text each other.
Yes.
We tell people who don't care.
Yes.
It's so
Yeah,
please.
we
just
take
send them
we
to
like
us.
put it on our stories, and so yeah, it really, oh my God, it's so awesome, and so we really do appreciate that. We're trying to get merch back, so we're working on that. We'll give you some updates soon. So
If you have any suggestions of anything you would like to see
Yes.
on merch, we'll do our best to make it happen.
yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.